Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the fourth episode of the StokedOnPlants podcast. I am your host, Paul Castro Jr. Once again, thank you guys who've been sticking around and listening and watching. It's finally up on all of the podcast platforms. Just a recap, if you haven't seen the other ones, we talked about why vegans suck or why people think they do. Vegans who have cats, and then the last one we did was vegan Thanksgiving. So if you missed out on that, you still got time for before Thanksgiving comes up, what you should eat, what you should do, what you shouldn't say to your family to piss them off if they're not vegans. But today I'm really excited. This is our first real guest here, and a good friend of mine who I haven't caught up with in about I guess it's been a year now. Like we were saying. We worked on a film together called The Buried Girl almost a year ago. Donald Dash, an amazing actor. He had a nice recurring role on the show Rise on NBC, right? And you've been on Bull and Law and Order, Carrie Diaries. Like I did my research, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, man. I see.
And he's got his own clothing brand, which hopefully we can talk about too.
Yeah, Moche. I'm wearing a piece from it. Yeah.
So you guys will see that, and I'll tell you more about that and all the good stuff that he's got going on. So dude, thank you so much for freaking coming, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
It is.
Should I be closer to the mic?
Yeah. Just however's comfortable for you. But this is where all the action's happening.
All right.
So me and him kind of kicked it off. We were on the set. So The Buried Girl was a film. It's starring Una Lawrence and Brandon Laracuente is how you pronounce his name, right?
Yep.
You probably know Una from Pete's Dragon or Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal, and Brandon was on 13 Reasons Why. So that's what a lot of people know him from. And he was also one of my favorite shows. With the guy from Friday Night Lights. Why am I forgetting the name of this now? Netflix show. Allie's hiding in the other room. She's
Brandon's gonna kill us.
I know. Oh man. Not The Family. Let's see. What is it?
The Affair?
Keith. Not The
It's on
Affair.
Showtime?
No, it was on Netflix. It was called
Netflix, they pumping them out, man. There's so many shows, it's just tough to keep up, man.
I know, that's the crazy part.
Our minds, man, are just so instant.
You know let's see if you can guess it before I come on. It's the one with what's his name? Ben oh god, now why am I forgetting? It's because I'm trying to type at the same time. It's the guy from Friday Night Lights, and they have a family, and they live on the Miami or somewhere in the Florida Keys. And Ben Mendelsohn is like an offbeat brother who comes back to town. Bloodline. The Ravens. I knew it was like the family Bloodline something.
Yeah.
Anyway. But so we worked on this film together, and we kind of hit it off. We wound up playing were our characters like even friends in the thing? I don't think so, right? We were just different
we
sides
weren't.
of the track.
Yeah, but we were the ones who huddled around the vegan food.
Yeah. So somehow we got to talking, and I found out Donald was a vegan, and we just got talking on that. That's kind of like what we really started talking over.
Yeah, that's how we kind of like bond like on set. Cause a lot of people was looking at us like, what's wrong with those guys? Why they not eat meat?
Yeah, the chicken's looking pretty fresh right now, and no one's taking it. And we were like the first people in there.
Yeah. We were. Yeah, we were, man.
Just chilling in there.
Yeah. Brings back memories, man.
I know. I am getting back there now. That was a cool. I hope that film does well. I'm actually friends with Ben was the director's name, correct?
Yeah, Ben.
And he, I'm friends with him on Facebook or Instagram, and I think they changed the name of the movie to something else. And they're like doing post on it right now, so it should be coming out. Or
last I heard, it was in like a color correction. And, doing.
I think they're doing some sort of sound now. I think is what they're doing.
Okay.
So maybe we'll see it in the festivals for like early 2019.
Yeah. Well, a couple of the producers behind it, they actually they had a couple of movies in Sundance and Tribeca. So, I mean, fingers crossed. It's not out of the
question, man. Yeah, it's not out of the question. I think it was a cool script, too.
It is,
a lot of good actors in it.
Yeah.
What's her name from Lost was on it? I want to say her name is Elizabeth Mitchell.
Yes.
Yeah. So who knows? It could be maybe Sundance 2019.
Hey guys, look out for that.
Yeah. So just to start off here, so are you still a vegan? Do you still associate yourself with the vegan lifestyle or plant-based lifestyle?
Yes, very much.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Man. So the thing with this podcast, and this is why I like to do this different than a lot of kind of vegan information or culture that's out there now, is I see there being a big kind of it's not a problem. It's definitely a great approach that goes on towards vegan activism and outreach to people. But I never really found like an outlet of veganism or like information that was like so that wasn't strict and was cool in a way. Yeah. So like everything was always like, if you don't do this, if you eat honey, you're not a vegan. If you do this, if one time you slip up and you had dairy, not that I've done that, but I feel like it pushes people away from saying like, this is something I want to do, because nowadays it's super hard to like, if you don't live in New York City, to like stay consistent. You go home and see family on Thanksgiving. Yeah. They've only got like meat and mac and cheese. And
a lot of hungry nights.
Exactly. So, I think everyone has their own journey, and for me, it's all about just encouraging people and putting the information out there and having fun with it, because there's no like fun vegan sources of information. So that's what I wanted this to be. It's just we'll talk about different topics. It could be funny. It's whatever, and that's what this was for me. It's just an opportunity to do that. So that's awesome that you've been vegan. So let's start from like square one and we'll work up to shit. So like, when did you start like that journey for yourself?
So 2 years ago, man, I was like bouncing the idea around with my girlfriend, and she wanted to do it. And I was like, I don't know, like we're organic right now. You know, let's just, hang in there with the organic and see how that goes for a little bit. And I always had a fear from a lot of my workout like colleagues. They would say, well, you need your protein, how you going to get your protein, So I didn't want to get real skinny, because I had an image to keep up with acting. I didn't want to be the thin man. So
or the tin man.
Yeah, or the tin man. So I held back, and then I want to say we watched Fork Over Knives, I think.
Forks Over Knives, it's a good documentary, man.
Yeah, we watched that, man, and then I was just like, you know what, man, like that's happening. And then Fully Raw Christina, my girlfriend, would watch her, you know, and I saw her eyes were actually changing, and like the pigmentation of like her skin was glowing and all different things like that, and I was like, I want to do this, and me and my girlfriend, we jumped in, and we never looked back, 2 years in.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, 2 years in.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's good, man. It's for a lot of people, they, especially like in the acting industry, it's like you said, working out. And there's that's why a lot of athletes. Are you a football fan? I mean,
he's
huge football. Yeah, Broncos.
Broncos.
All right, so we got something to talk about then in a second. So like,
not much. We're doing
not right now, but in terms of veganism. Well, I'll get into it in a second. Okay. But so let's just kick back. So, Rise, that was, you played a football player.
Yeah.
So
I did. Jamal Harris.
So you what position you played? Wide receiver. Wide receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you just tell us a little bit like what about that was, and and we can kind of circle back to the veganism for football, because I got a little plug there.
Yeah, man. I did the audition for Robbie's character. Went in, did it, and then 2 weeks later, my agent's like, hey, they want to see you for another role. Going for the role, do it. I felt great about it. Left out, A month later, my agent calls me and they're like,
a month later on that?
Yeah, a month later, man.
Isn't that crazy how so many times you audition for something and then like you're like, there's no way I freaking got that. And then it's like a month later, like, oh, hey, we want to book you. Did you have callbacks or did you just book it?
They just booked me.
See, that's even crazier.
Sent out the offer.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we get on set. First day, man, we're filming outside, and they're telling us, like, you guys going, look really good on camera because we got the best trainers. These trainers were on Friday Night Lights, they train with Michael B. Jordan, And so when we meet
football
trainers, yeah, like the whole crew was actually like trained to be able to like choreograph certain stunts and get like the actual like footage from high angles, low angles. They had the drones out. It was just crazy, man.
What was their backgrounds? Were they like NFL people or college people? So
you had semi-pro, you had college players.
Yeah.
We didn't get no ex-NFL players, but they were pretty legit, man. But the trainer, man, he was like very, very like you guys, you got to be all in because, I work with Michael B. Jordan and like, he started a flag football league, he was doing it every day, working real hard. You call me at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Things like that. And
I saw you on Instagram training, bro.
Yeah, man. It
didn't mess around.
Me. Yeah, it inspired me, man, to really like go hard. And I actually grew up playing basketball. So like, that's my background.
Oh, so football's like, is it foreign or is it like you played some?
I played, but I never played under the whistle, But
Okay.
but everybody told me growing up, like, yo, you could play.
You could play wide receiver.
You could play wide receiver. Like,
believe it or not, I played football in high school.
Are you
It
serious?
was very, very short lived, man. I played freshman year, and so the
what
crazy
position?
dude. So all right, you ready to laugh?
Yeah.
Obviously, like when you're like, I was quick. I was
Okay.
quick. I ran I did the 40-yard dash, and I did pole vaulting in track. So I had like quick speed. I was like, oh man, I'll be a running back. Granted, I'm 5'4" at the time, and I'm 5'4.5" now, 5'5".
Right.
So obviously, I'm only 135 pounds. I'm not gonna play running back. Whatever.
Yeah. You're gonna get
And
blasted.
so they we got blasted. So I started off playing defensive end,
Oh my goodness.
and it was great, but then they moved me. I played nose tackle, nose guard, and what I would do is I was so quick and smaller than everybody else. As soon as the ball was snapped, I would just slip right through the A gap for either side, and I would basically it was like a 50-50 shot if I sacked the quarterback or the running back if they would run it.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
yeah,
it was
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I played, and then sophomore year I played linebacker, outside linebacker, which was even more, and defensive end line, and I played. So I was on JV. I played a couple varsity games, but then like my neck was starting to get messed up, and I wanted to keep doing track. And
you got heads up football, man.
Yeah. So I stopped. But that's crazy that you were not a football guy. You just look like you're tall, you're fast, right? You're quick.
Right. Yeah, man. What'd you run the 40 in, man?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
I ran a 4.4, man.
4.4?
Yeah, I ran a 4.4.
Damn.
Man. Yeah, man. I was pretty fast, man.
But that's wild that you had all those people. So I saw you. Did you get hurt? Did you get like a little banged up?
So afterwards, man, I went back home for the Christmas break because we started filming in September and we wrapped in like a week before Christmas. So went home for Christmas. December 30th, I go play basketball. A day and a half before New Year's.
Yeah.
And I go up and a dude hits me in the air. I come down and I land on his foot and my foot just goes crack. Yeah. Ankle, yeah. Yeah, landed right on his foot and just cracked.
Were you still filming?
No, we were wrapped.
Oh,
yeah,
so you were all done.
Yeah, we were about 2 weeks.
Yo.
Man. I know. That's what I was saying. But,
dude,
I missed out on a lot of gigs. I actually booked the project, and I couldn't make it back here because I was still in Baltimore,
Are you serious?
doing the rehab. Yeah, it was kind of tough for me because, around at the top of the year is pilot season, quote unquote pilot season
now, which is basically doesn't exist anymore.
Right,
They're casting pilots all day, every day.
Yeah, man. But it was tough, man, because I got a couple of roles that I really liked, auditioned, but I couldn't really do much because I was still in physical therapy and dealing with those things. So
and how do you feel? And how do you feel about it now? Is it like 100%?
Not 100, but it's getting there. I just started like upping the ante with my workouts and starting to get more confident in it. Yeah.
Do you feel like your diet helps you in any way with it, or is it just like totally irrelevant? You can't make an association.
Bro,
because
so it's crazy. So when I went to go get it checked out, they did the X-rays because every week I would go in on that Monday and go get a follow-up once they took the cast off.
Yeah.
And they would re-examine the bone and see what's happening. My doctor, she told me like it's amazing that your bone is fully healed and it's only been 6 weeks. So
no shit,
bro. I credit it to like the strawberries, the the spinach.
Dude,
I did a lot of turmeric. I did like home nursing on my ankle actually to get it like really, really like strong. But we can't like physically or scientifically
you can't associate
it, but I feel the difference,
sure,
man. And like the doctors, were amazed by what was happening. I just told her, my girlfriend every night would soak my foot with the turmeric wrap paper towel and like different things we were doing, man, to man.
Dude, I believe wholeheartedly that all the tools we need to survive and heal and treat ourselves put on this earth already.
100%. I agree 100%, man.
That's so crazy and wild that's like that.
Yeah,
that it healed so fast for you.
Yeah. The first week I didn't even go get it checked out because I was like, no, this is a high ankle sprain. And my mother's looking at it like, D, look at your foot. You need to go get it checked out. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
Dude.
So yeah, the first week I was in antagonizing pain, and then the second week I was like, nah, this is not a sprained ankle. Let me go get it checked out,
Dude, those ankle. I mean, I don't have I don't know what it is. I went to a orthopedic, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get like this thing on my ankle where I feel like a clicking all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Like I click it like whenever, and when I go running, I have like a sharp pain for the first maybe 5 minutes until like I work out that click.
Yeah.
And like ankle injuries, man, they don't play.
Yeah.
You mess that, you don't take care of that, and like and they just told me it was inflammation, but
Yeah.
Dude,
that's what I keep hearing from a lot of people. They're like, man, when it like rains, you're gonna feel it in the rain and things like that. I'm like, well, I haven't felt it in the rain yet.
Yeah. So what's like? What do you notice so far that's not 100% yet? Let me just hop you on this a little closer too, just in case.
I feel like pain in it in certain movements still where the actual break is, because I know exactly where it is.
They said?
Yeah, it was. Well, it was just it's like a crack in the bone. You can see it going down. So I can feel that, and before it was just pain all around it, but it's minimizing, but man, like I say, I'm getting back to like full on contact with basketball jumping and doing different drills like that, landing on my foot and things like that. Like 2 months ago, I wasn't able to do it. Now, I'm able to like jump. I was touching the ceiling last night.
Dude, you're crazy, man.
Man. Like I went.
Such thing as pace.
I know, right? I went to play basketball when I came back up here. I want to say it was 3 months ago, and it was my first time playing basketball since the injury. And I was chilling out, just shooting around the perimeter.
Yeah.
And I tried to touch the rim when we finished playing, and I could barely touch the net, man. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And you think that was because you were just being like scared, or because you actually couldn't?
I just didn't have the lift, man. So what I did was I just started doing calf raises, and I would feel week to week the strength, and I would do deep calf raises on the staircase. Just going all the way down, all the way back up. And it was just building the strength, and every week I would feel it.
So you felt it in your calf, though. That's where you felt like you lost a lot of the...
Yeah, absolutely. Like my calves were so small, they just were shrinking. Shrinking. Yeah, man.
Because you were on crutches. Is that what you were doing?
I was on crutches for the first 3 weeks. Yeah, the first 3 weeks.
Dude, so I guess you don't really associate how much like muscle you build just walking on your leg in a day, like 3 weeks to have it do that much to you.
Well, remember the first week when it actually happened, I didn't go see the doctor. So it was a full month.
Oh, God, you're crazy, man.
Yeah, man. But even that, it was like within those next weeks, trying to like rehab it and everything. I wasn't like you get up, you go to the store, you go here, you go there. I wasn't doing that. You know? It was just more so, wherever I needed to go, I would go. And then the other stuff is like, I can't make it.
Shit. You were home, though, you said, too, right?
Yeah, so I was home nursing
people were waiting on you hand and foot.
Yep. And, like, growing up being an athlete, it sucks because you're so used to moving all the time.
Yeah.
That, like, when people was asking, like, what do you need? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm like, I'll crawl there and put it on my back if I have to. Like,
dude, for me, it's so crazy. I don't know what I would do. I am such a... I guess I'm an impatient person. Let's just say that. When it comes to like travel, I hate like sitting in limbo. Like I don't really
I'm the same.
I don't like waiting in the airport. So I skateboard everywhere.
Oh, okay.
That's how I get around the city.
Yeah.
And even like when I'm not skateboarding, I'm that weird kid. That kid who used to like get off a bus and then book it and run home. And everyone else is like, what was that kid doing? That's me in the city. I'm like got my back pocket on and I'm running through Times Square trying to get to like auditions and stuff because I'm trying to like maximize every minute.
That New York minute, man.
Dude, it's crazy. It's so true.
Yeah, when you go back home, like everybody's looking at you like you're the wild man.
Why are you walking so fast, right?
Like slow down, man.
So I want to say too, football here, you're a Broncos fan. You said, right?
Yeah, Broncos fan.
So, Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, DT.
He's a vegan.
Yeah. Oh, he is.
Yeah,
bro. Like you did your research. I didn't know that.
yeah. Demaryius Thomas. So there's a couple of football players who are vegan.
He's not a Bronco anymore. Though.
Yeah, now he's on the Texans now, which I think will be good for him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I don't know, Denver's. We
need a quarterback.
Yeah, you need a quarterback.
Yeah, we need a quarterback.
And I think the Texans have a ton of potential. Sean Watson's healthy, and they just lost Fuller.
Yeah.
Kiki's hurt, and I think he's towards the end of his career. He wants to just have some good team play. And so I feel so bad for Larry Fitzgerald right now. He's going to retire this year, next year.
I feel so bad for Larry, man.
It's crazy.
So bad.
He's just on a terrible team right now.
Yeah, man. And he's just so loyal, man. I'm just bro.
Such a good human being.
Yeah, and I understand loyalty. Man's best friend. That relationship with your dog. I get it, but Larry Fitzgerald. It's time for you to go get a ring.
You gotta get a ring
it's
before
time,
it's done.
Man. I understand.
If it's not this year, it's gonna be next year.
Yes, man. He's gotta go, man. He still has so much in the tank, though. You know, every time he's out there, man. Even when plays are not being called for him, he's still out there blocking, man. That's effort,
I mean, that's someone who knows the position and is good at it because it's not just about going out there and running routes and catching the ball. He fights, dude.
He does, man. Effort, man. I love him on the Broncos.
Yeah, it's just so crazy because you see, on the Broncos, wow, right? That'd be wild.
Emmanuel Sanders,
Emmanuel Sanders, Larry Fitz,
yeah, man. We got the young boy Cortland.
Yeah,
man.
He's doing good.
Yeah, man.
But he was a vegan. I remember people saying that. They thought someone wrote an article about it, and my friends love to bust my balls about it because they love joking on me being a vegan. They like saying that, ever since Demaryius Thomas went vegan, he was just more brittle and more this and that. It's dude.
I guess that's why Derrick Rose keeps breaking his ankles and
knees.
Exactly,
right? But David Johnson was vegan, and he stopped. He said, so he went vegan. He said he felt phenomenal.
Yeah.
He said he never felt better in my life, but he was cutting weight. And he felt he didn't have enough mass for enough power to sustain him. So he's so I went back to eating meat. And I understand that from from the sport. If he wasn't able to in a comfortable way to keep that mass on. I mean, you have to understand that the weight and the shape that football players need to be in is not at all what an average human needs to be anywhere near.
Not at all.
So they're training to be superhumans.
Yeah, gladiators.
Exactly. Yes, gladiators. Yeah, even more so.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So I can understand that. And there's a couple of other athletes who are, or at least football players who are. I'm curious. Let's do a quick Google search.
The running back for the Texans, Arian Foster.
Yeah, he was. Well, I remember I saw an interview with him on Joe Rogan where he was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I think he went back.
He did go back?
Maybe. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know he was a vegan, man. He's like a rapper now.
What?
Yeah, he raps now, man. Yeah, he came out with his debut album, I think, last year, or it might be a mixtape.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he's rapping now.
Wait a second. Tom Brady and his wife enjoy a vegan diet?
Are you serious?
What?
Tom Brady?
I don't know if he's a vegan. I feel like maybe he just doesn't eat a lot of meat or something. Let's see what it says here. Tom Brady with plant-based meal. Yeah, they say he enjoys a vegan diet. What that means, who knows? Derek
He's not consistent.
Yeah. Brian Aracapo, Jarrell Casey, Daquan Jones.
Jarrell Casey?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Inspired to Go Vegan by Derek Morgan.
Oh, wow.
That's how it how it happens too. One person and they're like, dude, I'm super healthy by, because a lot of people, they're scared to go because they're afraid they're going to be ridiculed or it's going to be inconvenient. I mean, I think when you're younger, you're afraid you're going to get made fun of because everyone else is going out to eat Chick-fil-A and everything. And they're like, why aren't you eating? And you're like, oh, I'm a vegan. They're like, that's what it was for me. And I'm sure what it is for a lot of people. And not everybody lives in New York and can go to, Buy Chloe or Blossom or wherever else.
That's Natalie Portman's spot, Blossom. Well, it used to be. I don't know now. They coming out with so many of them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a spot in Brooklyn. It's called Brooklyn Modern Love.
Yeah.
It's really good, man.
Yeah.
They had a Philly cheesesteak on there. I kept asking the waitress every time she came to our table. I'm like, "Are you sure this is meat,
dude? Right?
Are you sure this is not meat?"
I've had that happen a couple of times. Where I'm like,
That's Satan, man.
Dude, that's dude. Because and that's the crazy part is you can have seitan, and it's at the end of the day, it's just how you cook it and the spices and the condiments you put on it.
Yeah.
And you can make anything have that can resemble meat in a way. So it's like, why kill something if you can have that same exact taste and flavor?
I agree, man. I agree.
Dude, it's
I wish how more and more people are starting to get on Instagram, to try to like blow up and start a business and do these things. I wish that same energy was put into like understanding like how your body works and like the functions of food, because a lot of people just eat it because of the taste. Yeah. And I think, that's like, that's cool and all, but at the end of the day, it's about the energy. For us to
food
keep
is
going. Fuel. It is, man.
That's the actual function of food. It's not like you're not supposed to. Food is not a thing where you're supposed to have like an insane sensation of flavors every day and every meal. Yeah. Like those type of things was. I mean, look back to people always want to talk about the paleo diet. Like you think cavemen were eating like chicken cordon bleu? like let's be real here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
God.
I think if we go back to those days, even vegans, I think vegans would, be meat eaters. Yeah. They wouldn't eat it as much because it would be hard to get it,
Totally.
Certain seasons we wouldn't get it,
I think that's like at the end of the day, I mean, this is something I say all the time is that our Earth now is filled with contamination, pollution,
toxicities.
Like what we're doing to our environment. Let's go down this road of even saying that eating fish is good for you. Like there's some great stuff in fish that for good for the body, right? Yeah. But you go out and fish right now, you're not getting a fish that existed thousands of years ago with that same nutritional value, the cleanliness of it.
Not at all, man.
We're not in the same world. Like a chicken today is nowhere near what a chicken looked like thousands of years ago.
No way.
They're 3 times the size because we've genetically modified them and bred them to look like these freaking super beasts. Yes.
Yeah, man. And the preservatives and things like that. That's why I just wish that more and more people like were educated on being a vegan and what it means to the human life. And I think that's like the most important thing whenever I tell people about being vegan, because I only tell people about vegan whenever they ask. I don't just push it onto them. You know? Like I'll just be over there eating my kale bowl, with quinoa, to myself. And when someone wants to ask me, like for example, when I was on Rise, I would get the I'm not a big salad guy, but I would get like the greens. I would get a lot of greens. So my plate looks like it's a whole bunch of spinach on there, you know? And people were just bugging out, like, what's up with food? Like, what's up with Dash, man? Like, why is that guy just eating that? Yeah. And then, they'll tell the jokes, and the jokes will go around the table, and then I'll just be like, I'm not talking about you guys' food, am I?
Exactly. Dude, that's what gets me. It's like, why? And I think it obviously has to do, and this is my hypothesis of why people like nitpick at people who are vegan, is because they want to justify why they eat meat. So if they make fun of you and they think that's like a funny, stupid thing, it like gives them further reassurance that like, I should be eating meat. I should be eating these slaughtered animals.
Like you said earlier, though, I think when something's new to somebody, they're kind of like hesitant. They're scared of it. They don't know. The unknown is always a scary place.
Of course, man.
And some people, when they get scared, they laugh. Yeah.
I say, like, if someone told you tomorrow that brushing your teeth is actually bad for you and is going to give you cancer, would you just all of a sudden be like, I'm going to stop brushing my teeth? Or you'd be like, hold up a second. Like, let's do a little research here. Right? Like, I don't know if I'm going to believe whoever's saying that just yet. Yeah, because there's a lot of bad information out there, too.
It is, man. It's a lot of research, man, being a vegan.
It is, dude.
And it's a lot of education. A lot of this stuff, it takes time, man. That's why I would never rush it or force it on anybody. But I would always vouch for it and always like fight for it, because I'm getting results and I feel better, and I see a lot of people around me that's not feeling better. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool being a vegan, and it's cool being an actor, because it gives me a platform to say, look at me, look at what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm a vegan doing it.
That's like what I hope this will be in some capacity. Obviously, this isn't Brad Pitt's podcast, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a vegan too. He's weird. Yeah, I think he's. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
He's got a podcast too?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, we're getting Brad on the show next week.
Right.
Hey, guys, stay tuned for Brad Pitt on the episode next week. But, yeah, there's a lot of celebrities-wise. I want to do a whole episode on that. There's a lot of, obviously, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's behind Beyond Meat. He's like one of the he's like one of the head investors and
man.
supporters of Beyond Meat.
Talking about research, I gotta go home, man, and read.
Bro, dude, yeah, you gotta get on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not on Facebook. That's where the information is.
That's where the bad information is.
Okay.
Or like the highlights, you know.
Yeah. Nah, man, I haven't had a Facebook in like 8 years.
I don't use it, man. I've given up on Facebook, and I know Facebook owns Instagram, which I do use a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But like they scam people. So like the whole point of Facebook is to help. I think at this point is to keep in touch with people who you met in college.
Yeah.
Or to like promote your business. Yeah. And if you buy ads on Facebook, which I've done before, it just targets spam accounts, and it does like it's just fake views on your shit.
Yeah.
Facebook, you got this shit together. Fucking shit. Facebook.
Yeah, man. Facebook. I actually got it because a dude that I used to lifeguard with. He told me about it. He was like, "Yeah, man, you're not on Facebook." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Recent?
I just when I just graduated from high school.
Yeah.
My summer job, I was a lifeguard. And
you and the rest of the world.
And the guy who was lifeguarding with me, he was I think he was like a junior in college or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's like a couple years older than me. He's like, "Yeah, man, there's this thing called Facebook, man." I was like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. He's like, but yeah, it's like more of a college thing, you know?
Oh, yeah, and that's what it was at first,
college.
Yeah,
and to see it like turn into what it is now, it's just crazy.
It's wild.
Man.
I'm waiting to see what the new social media, like there's a couple of ones that are already like existing. I know like there's like different takes on it, but I'm waiting for like the new contender of Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like those are the top 4, I would say. Vine was its own thing for a while, which died.
Yeah, Vine
Musically is like something now, but that's a little niche. Like, I'm curious to see what the next like form of social media is gonna be. I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
I just want to get away. I want to make movies and eat my vegan food.
If I didn't have to use social media, I want to talk to you about that too. We'll talk about that next. If I didn't have to use social media to stay connected with everyone and help build a brand for myself, I would not use it. That's the only I experience the negative side effects of the vanity all the time from social media. It's like I couldn't imagine being a kid growing up with social media nowadays. Could you imagine?
I hear that a lot, man, from a lot of people I grew up with, man. Like they're like, man, like can you imagine having this when we were younger? I'm like, yeah, I can imagine.
Dude.
I know what I would be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude,
but yeah,
wild time.
But you know what? It's it sucks that kids can't ignore the bully or the bullying. You know, it's like that never goes away. That video never goes away. So you know, like, what are you gonna do? Transfer schools? You know, like, are you gonna run from it? And you know, growing up, I was always taught to face the bully. Yeah. You know. But it's tough for those situations in school now with social media.
There's the good and the evil of it, I think.
Yeah.
There's the positive. It's like it takes responsibility, and I think we're like we're like a kid in a candy store with it right now.
Yeah.
I think there's got to be some sort of like leveling out in some capacity. Yeah. I don't know if restriction is the answer to it, but there's got to just be like, if we're going to have all this power in social media, teachers got to be way, way more involved in some capacity. Like, there's just got to be more. We have to, like, grow with it.
Yeah. I agree, man. I feel like a big thing in society is a lot of times we forget the kids. You know, we're just worried about the rules. We're worried about the finances. We're worried about all these different agendas. You know, we got bills to pay. We got these things going on. That cats. We forget that the cats, we forget that the kids are going through things, you know. We forget to ask them how was their day, you know, and things like that, what's going on, and you know, geometry and things like that. I think like that is a centerpiece for like a lot of these, you know, situations that's happening right now at an all-time high of just, you know, kids, you know, suffering from mental illnesses, you know, depression, killing themselves, you know, shooting up the schools and things like that. I think like the answers are within the adults to give that love and affection and caring to, you know, the kids, man. Yeah. So yeah, man. Social media is kind of like, you know, it's a two-way street, man. Yeah. You know, parents, they got to pay attention to.
Yeah, the responsibility's on them for sure. If you're gonna let your kid run wild with that, like, doesn't mean helicopter parenting, but like be involved. Like I mean, obviously. The idea of having children in this industry terrifies me. You know what I mean? It's probably the most scary thing I could imagine. Like, I have a hard enough time paying rent every month. Imagine having to like take care of a kid. You know, how could you not want to be your child's best friend?
I know, man.
That doesn't mean my best friend, I'm not up their ass every second. It's like just be involved every step of the way. And you see so many parents who are just like, all right, kid, exist. You know,
we got an advantage because we're actors. We like to play.
Exactly. Yeah, that too. And we have a little bit more perception of our emotions than some other people.
We do.
So,
we do.
I wanted to ask you too. You just reminded me because you're talking about bullying, and I remember we talked about my script, which is all about bullying. I remember you had a script that you were doing. It was about your brother, right?
Yeah,
And I read it. I remember. What is that still existing?
So right now, man, I kind of put it like in hiatus.
On the shelf. It's there.
It's on the shelf.
Still looming over you when you sleep.
Yeah, man. It's tough, man. Like producing is something I've never done before. It's something that
it was a good script. It was a good idea, man. It's a story that you should tell.
Yeah, man. I've been getting that a lot from a lot of people in, high and low places in this industry. And I'm flattered that a lot of people, were affected by this story.
Yeah.
But it all started from just like my emotions of dealing with the death, coping with it. And from there, it was a short. And then from there, people, read it. And then we did a table reading. And then from there, they're like, yo, you got to do a feature, And then I wrote a feature. And right now, I'm just like kind of like off put by the industry because a lot of people say they can do a lot of things and they got all this power, and then when it comes down to sit down and talk numbers,
they're running the other direction.
They can't answer the phone anymore. So
I mean, that's my entire last year of my life.
That's a producer's life, and I get it. They got to find the money, they got to put the pieces together. But right now, I'm juggling so many things, with acting. Like I'm fresh off of Rise, and I'm just looking at a lot of the things ahead of me in my acting career, and I'm so happy of like the next roles that's coming up, man. That's
I saw
in the
you were
bag.
shooting something. Were you was that a film or a TV thing that you? I don't know what. I just saw you were like filming or something.
I know this
in the last month maybe.
When I was out in LA and I was meeting with some producers for this project. Yeah.
Was it another football thing?
It is another football.
That's what I saw you doing.
Yeah, it's a lead. I can't really talk too much about it. Yeah, man. But like it's a good one, man.
Film? Is it a film?
It's a film, man. Yeah,
that's
man.
What's up, dude. You deserve it, man.
Man.
So you don't have to talk too much about it. But how did that come up? Because of Rise?
So, man, I'm just, I'm chilling home one day. And I think it was a day after episode 8 aired on Rise. And just chilling. And I go through my Instagram. And I open up a message, and it's this producer. He's like, "Yeah, man, like I saw you on Rise, man. I think you're an amazing actor, and like there's this project that I've been fighting for the last 3 years. I would love if you could take a look at it." So I was like, "Who is this guy?
Yeah,
this is like some scam stuff. Let me just send this to my agents.
Send me $500 and I'll get you a role, right?"
So I sent it to my agents, and they checked it out, and they're like, "This guy's legit. Like the project's cool. We're gonna send it over to you." I read it. Instantly after I read the project, I was like, man, I gotta do this. So I hit him up, man, and we talked, man, for a long time. And he's just a very humble guy who's like been fighting for this project, and he's been around the industry, and a lot of people, told him no in the beginning because it's a different type of project. But, once other projects, because it's like a death element to it.
Okay.
So when The Shape of Water and A Quiet Place, those type of films started getting success. Then those same meetings that he had, they started calling him back and asking him about different things. And like within that, he has this thing in his hand, which is his baby, and everybody wants to see it. And he's fighting hard to like keep that power of like keeping the command of the story and telling it how he sees it, because he spent 4 to 5 months in this town, and he learned about all of the people, all of the kids that it's based off of.
Wow.
And he's got the key to the city, like the mayor, like the police officers, everybody, they really.
Is it LA or?
It's in Modesto, California.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Modesto, California. Yeah, man. It's a beautiful story, and it deserves to be told, and I can't wait to yeah, man, till we get the pictures rolling.
That's
man.
what's up, man. I'll be crossing my fingers, my toes, and wearing the boxers for you, because I know that man, it's like with our TV show and even with my feature, it's like so many people, they're like yes, and then you take that yes into a meeting, and then that meeting is like another setback, and it's just other problems and complications, and then you have to like make decisions. At the end of the day, I always preach to any filmmaker or producer, just make your freaking shit. Just do it, like, in any capacity. But there's always, like, you can make it for X amount, why not try to? Yeah. You know?
I think that's such a potent decision in today's time, just being able to, like, deliver the stories that you want to see. Yeah. Because we need diversity, you know, and within this industry, more and more stories are being told from different perspectives that's being, you know, received in a light that people told you it wouldn't be received, you know? Yeah. And, you know, you have things like Black Panther, you know? Yeah. That's opening the doors for a lot of black actors, you know? Yeah. And I just look at those opportunities, and when I see new narratives, man, I'm just like, man, like, I wonder how did they get that made? You know what I'm saying? Like a project like Fruitvale Station. You look at Ryan Coogler. He graduated from college, you know. He was around the right people to be able to get, you know, a small budget, you know, a 6-figure budget. Yeah, small, but that's a small budget nowadays. So for people who don't know, in the film world, people like to classify things as indie films, and they're still $1 million movies. Yeah. So he got a couple $100,000 behind his project. Yeah. And he got it made, and he killed the awards. You know, he killed the festivals, and now he's Ryan Coogler, and he's, you know, the black man behind Black Panther. That's insane, man. Yeah, man. I just did a film. I can't say much about it, but it was a Seth Rogen film. I just came back a couple days ago. Oh, we're too big for each other, man. Yeah. I can't see much. Well, I signed an NDA, and I'm gonna watch this, but someone's gonna kill NDAs, me. Man. They don't play. They don't. Seriously, not Sony either. So, my co-star, he was similar type to you. His name was Najib Felix. Really, really great guy. And we were talking on the plane about like Fruitvale Station and stuff like that. And actually for like the black community right now, these opportunities like with Black Panther and stuff. Yeah. And he was saying that you never see like a black actor playing a role like the Joker anymore. Yeah. Like it's just normal for white people to like have that opportunity. Nobody questions like a character like the Joker being played by a white person. But the second that that's a black actor, everyone's kind of like, oh, I don't know, just you know, like there was the whole controversy around what's his name playing Bond, Elba. Idris Elba. Yeah. There was like the whole thing about that happening. They're like, I'm like, why can't this guy play James Bond? Right. Like that to me, like if you're gonna vouch for like any sort of racist agenda of white people not being able to play roles, like where did it say in the lore of James Bond that a black person couldn't be James Bond? Man, it's so silly. If Daniel Craig can be James Bond, why and Sean Connery? Like where's the line drawn? Yeah, you know? Man. Yeah, man. I just look at it like times are changing, man, and I'm so happy that we're able to not be bonded by lack of creativity. Yeah, you know, like when you look at the Marvel franchise. By the way, rest in peace, Stan Lee. Yeah, man. How crazy tough, is that? But like when you look at what he did, you know, with his, you know, storytelling, man, he wasn't limited. You know, that's why we're able to get a Black Panther. You know, like I think. When you let the creative people create, we're able to show you new visions you've never seen before. Exactly. That's how houses were built, planes were built. The creators were leading. Yep. If you stop a creative from being able to create, then you'll be limited to what's just in front of you. Yeah. You know, and it's changing in cinema, man, and I'm so happy that it is, man, and I'm just looking forward to being a part of it. You know, it's like you said, the Joker, man, like that's a role that. You know, I can't wait till a black guy, you know, plays it. You know? I mean, that would be if a person of color could be the Joker or a role like that. I mean, anyone would die. Any actor would die to play a role like that. It's and there's no reason why anyone shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. I wanted to ask you too. Do you notice like going back to veganism? Do you know?
or do you know? Do you see that it's an interesting conversation in like the Black community?
Mm-hmm.
Is it different than than say I mean, the white community to see how veganism plays? Because I say that so like. I live in Harlem and I'm probably a minority in my town here, and I know like all the guys at the deli and stuff, and I used to go in there and get chicken wraps all the time, and then I started asking for falafel over and over again. And these dudes are like, dude, what are you eating vegan? I can't afford that shit. Like there's obviously that element of it's more like the impoverished areas. So I see, you know, especially in New York, there's in an area like Harlem, there's a ton of people, especially the Black community, who are dealing, you know, financial. It's hard to, number one, live in New York, man. And it's even hard when you're like being oppressed, you know, by the color of your skin.
That's one of the number one things that I tell people in terms of like eating healthy is like, why do you think that costs so little? You know, why is that marked so little?
Chicken nugget. I just saw an ad for McDonald's. It was like 20 chicken nuggets or 10 for $1. I'm like,
that's horrible.
So who do you think's selling those chickens? How much money are they making that you're getting it for 99 cents?
It's probably 2% chicken.
Yeah, and it's probably 2% chicken and like 98% like just mold or something. Like what could be in that?
But like that's what I look at, you know, in terms of like the Black community. I know growing up, I've eaten, you know, chitlins and things like that, you know, and, you know, in my culture, that's good. You know, shrimp fried rice, you know, go to the corner store, get a chicken box.
Chopped cheese.
Yeah, man. Like those things, you know, was a part of the culture.
Yeah.
But when I go back into, you know, deeper into like Black culture, you know, you look at the Moors and how a lot of them were eating like vegan lifestyles, because when you would travel, a lot of the meat, the stock would deplenish, you know. It wouldn't last long. So like the vegetables and things like that, they would be able to like keep it in you know, plentiful states, like potatoes, just different things, you know. And I just started learning, and that's why I say education, because now I'm telling people like, look, yo, you grew up eating that just like I grew up eating that, but there's a reason why, you know, that food is like $2.99 and you getting a buffet. You know? So it's just it. I think in the Black community, like you said, being impoverished, it's a part of it. You know, it's a part of the system. Like
not that there's not poor white people too who don't experience that. I live in Harlem, so I have these conversations with people all the time.
Well, see, that's the thing though. Like when you look at, I try to like take out the race factor in terms of like life, because like we're all going through things. But like when common, you know, language, we gotta, you know, use those, you know, type of terms for people to get it, you know, red, white, and blue, and just different things like that. But you know, but like for like me, man, I know, you know, if you're poor and, you know, society is looking at you, you're just a number to them, you know. And that's what we go through, man. So a lot of people are, you know, getting their Chick-fil-A and their McDonald's and things like that, and you know, it's for a reason. You know, it's poison. Stuff is poison, and they know what they're doing. And yeah, man, that's what it is.
Hey, man, the man's feeding you the agenda, and it's a lot of people trying to make money right now. It's if you don't think that there's corporations who have invested interest in selling you the cheapest possible product to make the most amount of money,
and then you get sick, and then you go to the hospital, and they say, "Hey, guess what? Take these pills, you'll feel better." You know, and then you don't get better. You know, and then you're still eating the same food. Man. It's a trifecta, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's their holy trinity.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I haven't been sick in like 3 years. I got sick because Allie babysits, and the kid had like some sort of sickness. She brought it home once, and I got pneumonia.
Oh wow.
So that's the only sickness I've had since I've been vegan.
Yeah, I haven't gotten sick.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't gotten sick. Yeah,
and I shit really fast.
Me too, on the regular.
Man.
Same here, man.
Is anyone else in your family vegan, or is it just you and your girlfriend? What do they think about it?
They were like, what?
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean, that's anyone's family, really.
You know, Thanksgiving, you know, it's hard to get a plate, you know, without anybody looking at you. But now as time went on, they actually like they're open to it. They eat some of my meals, you know.
Yeah.
My father, he actually, well, my mother too. They drink smoothies every day and things like that.
Yeah.
So they're coming around. They're open to it. They taste different meals, but they still eat their chicken and you know, turkey. And,
that's like my parents too. They're open to it. They've like understood and they value what I say and my opinion and stuff.
Yeah.
But my dad still like he'll have a salad, but he'll have grilled chicken in it. But they it's like so many people know it's like better for them to not do that, but it's just so part of their culture.
Yeah.
To like,
yeah.
I come from an Italian background, you know, like just meat and chicken. It's like how it just doesn't make sense to not have that a part of your daily life. And they live in the suburbs of New Jersey where there's 2 vegan restaurants around. There's like, I can order from 10 on Seamless right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite vegan restaurant in New York?
I told you earlier, man.
The place in Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn Modern Love, man.
Yeah.
I love that place, man. But I'm too loud. Was that too loud?
No, you're good, man.
I got excited.
Yeah.
I got excited.
No, I love this place. Yeah.
While I was in LA 2 weeks ago, man, a good friend of mine, he takes us to this restaurant and we go there and the GM, she's like sending like different meals over, like they just keep coming, right?
Where is it? What's it called?
Man, I wish I knew the name of this place, man. I forget the name.
I
of the
went
place.
to a couple of good places when I was in LA last time. So,
but they had the Impossible Pasta.
What?
Oh,
is that
my
new?
goodness.
I don't even know what that is.
I've never heard of it until I went there, man.
So it's made by the Impossible brand. It's pasta now.
It's pasta, man.
And it was
so while I was out there, I was having the burgers. You know, the Impossible burgers. First time ever having them. While I was out there, I loved them. Yeah.
Have you had Beyond Burgers?
I've never had Beyond Burgers. Yeah.
We're gonna go and get. I'll make you one better than that. Actually, I wish I would have known we'd have had Beyond Burgers today.
Man, that sounds good.
The Beyond Burger.
It's better than the Impossible?
I think it's better than the Impossible Burger. Yeah, dude.
That's saying something.
I know. It is. I think hands down, it is way better than the Impossible Burger. Yeah. And I think the Impossible Burger is pretty good. Yeah. Cafe or Candle Cafe West or whatever. You ever been there?
I've heard of it. I've never been.
You should. It's expensive. It's like $30 a freaking plate. So it's
hey man,
upscale.
We're signing NDAs.
Hey, you know we're rolling in there right now. I got Seth Rogen from the bill. So, but that's a really good restaurant. They have an Impossible Burger, but they also had a Seitan Burger, which is probably my favorite place. It's probably been my favorite meal so far in all of New York.
Yeah. Have you had a Philly cheesesteak from Modern Love?
No, I haven't had. Not from there. No.
But you know what? They discontinued it from the menu. Yeah, man.
Is it like on this? Is it on the
I think it was seasonal.
Secret mem. Oh.
I think it was just for the summertime. Yeah. But the waitress, while I went in there one day, I go in there and I'm like, I already know what I want. I want the Philly cheesesteak.
What do they make it with seitan? You said?
Yeah, they make it with seitan. I didn't even look at the menu. I'm like, I already know what I want. I want the Philly cheesesteak. She's like, that's no longer on the menu. I'm like, what?
Like it was the best thing you guys had. How are you gonna lose that?
So I was so disappointed because I came there for the Philly cheesesteak. You know?
What'd you get instead?
They have this burger that I don't know what it's made out of, bro. I just was like, let me just get the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
But it's vegan because everything there is vegan, and it was good. It wasn't bad. Yeah. But when you have high expectations,
yeah. I think some people make if they make it with seitan. A lot of people make cheesesteaks with mushrooms. That's how they substitute. They just make a mushroom base. But if you have a good seitan, when I was in Pittsburgh, I got one. It was pretty good. I want to call it Spack Brothers is maybe what it was called, and it was pretty damn good. They they sliced it really, really thin, so it looked like actual like a chopped cheese.
That's how Modern Love is, bro.
Yeah.
I can't wait till they get it back because she told me they would, so I told her I'm gonna hold it to.
Do you live close there?
About 20 minutes away.
Okay.
Well, 15 driving. Yeah, 15.
So what part of Brooklyn you in?
I am in Bushwick. Yeah, Bushwick. Yeah.
A grin was starting to form as you're like, I gotta say.
I was like, hold on. Should I say Bed-Stuy, do or die?
Bushwick. New Williamsburg.
Yeah, the new Williamsburg, right?
Yeah, man.
Like every other month, something new is being put up.
It's
man.
crazy.
New Wi-Fi
dude.
Everywhere. Like it's crazy.
And the rent's twice the price is what it used to be, man.
Yeah, they keep jacking it up. My landlord. About to get a baseball bat to him, man.
So wait, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore, Maryland.
All right. I grew up in Brooklyn, or up till I was like 8. I grew up in like Sheepshead Bay, Garrettson Beach area, so like way south, like Coney Island.
Yeah, like I used to live in Bay Ridge.
Yeah, Bay Ridge.
Yeah, I know. I know where you at.
Yeah, man. That's where I rep, dude.
Yeah, man.
But I was going to say, I don't think it's close to you. You ever go to Screamer's Pizzeria?
Never been there.
Where is it? There. Screamer's Pizzeria, dude. It's all vegan.
Vegan.
It's.
Have you had two boots? Two boots.
Yeah, dude.
I don't really like two boots.
I don't like the pizza, but
Yeah.
if you have a calzone, you'll feel like you're dead afterwards.
Oh wow.
It's like it's just. I mean, it's a bread, with jam packed with vegan cheese. So terrible for you.
Yeah.
But
that's another thing. Like people think like, oh, because I'm eating this, it's vegan.
I'm healthy.
It's a bad vegan. Like Oreos are vegan, bro.
And they're terrible for you. It's so how, like, in terms of like your diet, do you try to eat like raw or like stay as unprocessed as possible, or how, like, what's your
unprocessed as possible? I really don't want any processed food in my body, but it's hard to get around it sometimes when you're out and about.
Hell yeah.
Especially like doing what we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you only have a couple of hours to yourself to actually eat, and you gotta travel there, you gotta pick up the food, you gotta eat it, and being on set.
Dude, I waited for an hour and a half when I was in Pittsburgh for that cheesesteak, dude.
See?
An hour and a half.
Yeah,
it took them
man.
an hour to make it, and it took me about 20 minutes to figure out what I wanted.
Yeah.
Because you're like a vegan and everything's like, dude, I got one shot right now. What am I gonna get?
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling, but yeah, man, it's tough, man. It is, man.
So Screamers is on Manhattan Ave, and I guess this is like Greenpoint area. So kind of close to no, not close to me. I thought that was the other bridge, but more Williamsburg, Greenpoint area, Bushwick. So you're where? You're like you said Bushwick? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm Bushwick.
Like, so you're somewhere over in this world here, which makes. So what do they have? Oh, artichoke. You ever have artichoke basil pizza? I think they're vegan, right?
Never had it. I'm kind of like Bed-Stuy and Bushwick. I'm like right there.
Okay.
On Broadway.
And how do you like Brooklyn?
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I've been there since I've been here.
So I gotta thank you for coming here, dude.
Yeah,
it's
I know,
like,
man.
this is honestly the other end of the earth.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, whoa, I haven't been to Harlem in a while, man.
Yeah, dude.
Because everything I need is in the city or Brooklyn, man. Like, I love Brooklyn. I've been there for 8 years now. 8 years. Not at the same spot, but I've been in New York for 8 years. So when I first
you've always lived in
there,
Brooklyn?
Always, man. I lived, my first spot was on Flatbush with the West Indies.
Okay.
Shout out to the West Indies.
Yeah.
Having some good Jamaican food. But yeah, man, I love Brooklyn, man. It's like the closest thing to Baltimore for me.
Sure, I could see the resemblance there. And Brooklyn, I think, gives you more, like, especially as an artist, like, it gives you some time to breathe. Yeah. You can. It's not like hustle and bustle every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You can go and sit in one of the parks that are in Brooklyn. It's not the same as like New York. For me, it's
Not
like
at all.
everything is always like, you walk out here, it's still one of the busiest streets. You know what I mean? Something's always going on here.
It's getting gentrified up here too. Things are changing.
Yeah.
I haven't been up here in a while. I'm seeing some different things.
Dude, I mean, there's a Whole Foods on 125th Street, dude.
I when I was walking, I saw the Starbucks. It messed me up. I was like, there's a Starbucks right here. And then I'm like,
It's crazy.
Man, maybe they have some more stuff. Man.
Gentrification is like good and bad in the sense. Good, obviously, because it's bringing business to people, and it's obviously like
and
from
people together.
Bringing people together.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I remember like there was I don't remember what exactly it was, but there's the Brownstones over here, Hamilton Heights area. People started like, it was a huge jazz block, and like they have jazz stuff all the time on the streets, and people started complaining because it's like, these people move into town, they're not used to like having their
they don't know
their culture. So it's like that's where the negative side of it comes, and you're just like, where's the balance? It's got balance, man. You have to have balance with every single thing.
You ever
do.
watch Hey Arnold growing up?
Oh hell yeah!
Where did you think Hey Arnold grew up at? What city do you think that was?
Brooklyn, right? What did you
Yeah,
say?
I would say it was definitely New York.
New York?
But did they ever say it? They never said it.
I don't think they
I don't
did.
think they ever said it.
Where was Hey Arnold?
But the reason why I asked that
People
was because
downtown are friendly. Hillwood. It's supposed to be like they suggest that it's in Washington State.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah,
I never got
Hillwood.
those vibes, man. Like they had the stoops, they had everybody, going on the rooftop, different things like that.
Yeah,
man. Like it gave me that New York vibe.
I guess it's more like Seattle, maybe. Is that what they're like? What other cities are in Washington?
I've never been to Washington.
have I been? I don't think I've been to Seattle.
So I don't know. But when I moved here, I was like, man, this seems like this is where Arnold grew up at.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and just having like the melting pot. Like every character was like from a different ethnicity.
Sure.
You know?
That's yes.
You
So
know?
that's why that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Oscar. And,
yeah. They had so many
keep
different
the money.
Exactly. You know, they had so many different coaches, man. And yeah, man, that's what I thought about. Like when I moved here, I was like, yo, this is where Arnold grew up at.
Dude, for sure. And even just the style of living where it's like these, like what would they call that? It was like a boarding house.
It was a boarding house. Yeah, man.
Wow,
Yep.
good show. I heard they brought it back, or they did like a movie and they had like a way younger cast and everything. I don't know what happened with it. Or maybe they were bringing it back. I think that might be what it is.
Leave it alone.
Right, dude? Like, just let it be what it was, and that's it.
Yeah.
Although they should start making content like that again.
Yeah, they should like that. I agree, man.
Let it be different, but stop trying to force,
this 4D on us. Like
exactly.
You do voiceovers, right?
I just recorded a Geico commercial today.
Yeah. You do cartoons?
I've done cartoons for
cartoons?
Nickelodeon. Yeah, I do a lot of these obnoxious characters with high voices and they're really raspy and they're like skateboard characters and stuff. So
yeah.
But that's like what for me, I've been dude, because not that I want to sit here and complain, but did you go to college?
Yes, I did. I did. But I said, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, you left early?
Yeah, man, I did.
Good for you, because student loans are trying to smother me. And so, like, for me, that's why I'm having this conversation with my agents tomorrow, because I make a lot of money doing voiceover, but I want voiceover to not be as much of a questionable thing for me. Like, it's not that it's questionable. I book fairly consistently. I'm very, very blessed to be able to like survive off doing it.
Yeah.
But I want to be doing it much, much more. I want to be at that high. I want to jump to that next level where I'm doing the animes and I'm doing the bigger cartoon shows. Like I just went out for. Can I say it? I guess I can. Johnny Test, they're rebooting that. You ever see Johnny Test? And I went out for the main role, and I killed that audition.
Oh, congrats, bro.
So, but that's the stuff I need to be doing more of, because I just want to not have a question mark over rent check for the month question mark. You know, like I don't want that to be a thing anymore.
I feel that. And the crazy thing is, like, working out here, you make a lot of money, but also like the cost of living, like
it's insane.
Like, if I go back to wherever I'm from, man,
I'll be rich.
It, I'll be killing it. My house would be so big.
Yeah, but you can't audition. Well, I guess you can self-tape.
Yeah, you can self-tape. Yeah, you can self-tape.
How long of a drive or flight is it to Baltimore?
Taking the bus. I normally take the bus. It's 3.5 hours.
Oh, dude, that's... Yeah, you could make that work.
Yeah, right.
You make an extra $10,000 a year.
Yeah, right. But I love New York, man. I'm contemplating on moving to LA.
I was just gonna ask you, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm contemplating.
So you've been in New York for 8 years, you said, right?
Yeah.
So that's like me and Allie. We've been here for about 8 years, and we're having that conversation now, where I think it's like.
I'm feeling it.
I think we're getting close. Yeah. We're getting real close to making that happen. Why do you want to go there? Just like, is it because of you just had it with New York, or?
No, man. Actually, I love New York, and I
do too. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, with like my clothing line and everything.
We gotta talk about next. We're gonna talk about your clothing line too.
Yeah, everything just makes sense. Like with the fashion scene here, and like my group of people that I'm working with, they're doing some cool thing in the fashion scene, and acting. I put in. So I've been chasing acting for 6 years, 3 years in school, 3 years of auditioning.
Yep.
And like these 3 years, like just a lot of things have been happening for me,
know.
And like casting directors just gravitate towards me, A lot of the producers, when I'm in their producer sessions, they just tell me different things, and I love all of the great things they're saying about me, and I'm starting to pay attention to like actors as. It's me, this guy, and another guy. That those two guys, they have names. You know?
Yeah. That's. I know that life.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what are they doing that's different from me? And
probably
I'm like,
nothing.
Well, what I noticed is they're LA talent. You know, they made the move to LA. They made the move to LA.
So you think that's what's setting them across?
I think is it's a personal relationship, because a lot of people, they want to know who they're working with for these X amount of days, you know, on set.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like me being able to like get in the room and like actually like, hey, what's up? How you doing? This is who I am. I think people are more open to people that they know versus the person that they don't
But
know.
you don't think that New York, you have that same capability?
I think so in New York, but I feel like the projects that I do go on self-tape for are in LA or in Atlanta, you know?
So those are the ones that you, the show, so to be clear, the shows or projects that you think you would be right for, the roles that you should be booking are being cast in LA or Atlanta.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what about like when, what was that show that Boz Lerman had with Jaden Smith in New York?
Oh, the Get Down.
Yeah, you don't think you'd have been perfect for the Get Down?
Yeah, man, I think so. But how often do we get those projects, you know? Like more and more stuff is starting to...
I think now we're seeing a lot more of it.
It is because you have
Hulu,
Hulu, you have Netflix, you have all these streaming services,
and
which is cool.
Even more that are popping up.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at the numbers, LA is still statistically putting out more content, you know?
But there's more people.
It is more people. But when I went out there, I met with my agency over in LA for the first time. Go out there, meet with the agent. He's instantly, he's like, man, you're a star, man. You need to be out here, right? He's just going off of my look. You know how they are over in LA. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about it, you know. So we go into it, we're talking, and he's just like, yeah, man, like you know, your agents over in New York, they've been talking a lot about you. You know, I used to work under them. I was their assistant, you know, for 4 years. Now I'm out here doing the agent thing, you know. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool, man. Like, I love him, man. We work well together, and we're just talking. And he's like, I want to work with you, man. I think you should come out here, though, because the only reason I'm saying this is because I want you to meet the casting directors. I want you to get in the room.
There's no question that you should absolutely go there and have the opportunity to meet those people. Yeah. I think that's invaluable, and I think you should do that. Yeah. Whether or not you'll succeed just because you're there, I don't know if those things always exist. Yeah. Although, like my boy Jake Choi, shout out to Jake, man. Do you know who Jake is?
No.
He's on that show Single Parents right now.
No, I don't. I need to look at it.
Yeah, he's the Asian guy who's on Single Parents. His face is all over the billboards, all over the place, and he's an amazing actor, and he finally got his freaking fair shot, man. He went out to LA, and he's like, dude, this is where it's at. And he was like always telling me, he's like, dude, if you want to make that jump, LA is going to give you that opportunity, because there is more of a opportunity there. And I think it's like, if you're only meeting, it's like saying, I'm only going to meet half the people who can cast me and things. Why not meet all of them?
Exactly.
So I think that there's, and I agree that I think that that's something I want to do too.
Yeah. Because I know like everyone here, you know, and I have a good rapport. Like I'm on their short list. Yep. Anything that I need to be seen for, they already like, hey, come on in, you know? And I'm not getting that respect in LA. They don't know who I am.
Exactly. And I think that's smart for you. Yeah. I think that's a good reason. I think there's a lot of people who aren't you, obviously, and where you're at in your career, but there's a ton of actors who are like, I gotta be in LA, I gotta be in LA, I gotta be in LA. It's like, dude, why don't you work here first for a bit and figure that out?
Just and see, that's what I agree with. I'm like, man, like wherever you start, man, I think like you should really like school yourself on this game first, like, because when you get into it, you're gonna see how fast it moves, and like a lot of people who don't do that first, they get lost in it, and you know they only get this project and it was big, and then like where's the work, or they're only getting this work and they're like 5 years in, and then the work is like, where's the work, it's like just really do your due diligence, work, and New York is the greatest place to learn.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
For the movie that I can't really talk much about, the producer, he told me for that role he was only looking at UK actors or New York actors. That's it, because of the training.
Yeah, I would say, and regardless of the training, I think New York just fucking humbles you.
Yeah, it hits you in the face.
Yeah, you got to walk outside, and if you don't look where you're going, someone's gonna knock you down, and they ain't gonna say I'm sorry.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Yeah, we got somewhere to go. Well, there are some people who might put a hand out. New York ain't all that bad.
Yeah,
but even
it's
the
not
fact
that
like
bad.
you walk outside and you're freezing and it's like a snowstorm and there's no car that you're taking to drive to your appointment or your job.
Oh yeah, you gotta walk.
New York is unforgiving.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it just keeps people grounded. And I think I've been here, so I guess 7 years. Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
It's like I think I'm finally getting to that point. And I'll be truthful. I don't think 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I was humbled enough yet. I think I still needed a little bit more because I think I was chasing too much.
Yeah.
And trying to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And when you take a step back for a second, being in New York, man, you start seeing it's like, wow, man. There's some people that don't even have half of what I got, and they're really hustling and hurting. It's like you got to be grateful for every win you get. Really celebrate those small wins and stuff.
100%, man.
You know, it's just crazy. Acting is such an unforgiving industry too. So the combination of New York and acting, it's wild, bro.
I think like it's no city that matches the spirit of New York. You know, I think New York has this energy about itself. It's like you could, turn down one street and it's like so well lit, and then the next street is like pitch dark. You know, and it's just like that yin and the yang of New York. And I think like it's just unmatched. When you come here, it's electric, It's
true.
And
I love it.
I love it too, man. And when I was out in LA, because it was my first time in LA in about 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, in about 9 years, man. And when I was out there, I was just like, I miss New York.
I get that too, but I also really enjoy the beautiful weather.
Yeah, the palm trees, man, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
The palm trees, like the sun all the time. My cousin, she was out there she moved out there and she's been out there for 2 years, and her hair is the longest I've ever seen it in my life.
Really?
And she's like, yeah, it's because of the vitamin D, from the sun.
That dude, you want to talk about being a vegan, man? Like we need damn sunlight,
I
dude.
know, man. Like that's why I was like, I think I'm gonna come out here. Just like I think it would be more of a healthy thing, because like here, we're so like
I don't leave this apartment.
Yeah, man, we're so enclosed in here, and it's just like we're just moving. It's not like so much life happening inside of us, like listen to the water, And then I just did a supporting role in this movie that I did this past summer. It's like a thriller, like horror type movie.
What's that?
I don't get killed.
Oh, you don't? Dude,
I don't get killed. I don't get killed.
Good writers, man. Good writers. Stop playing the
I know, man. Stop. But yeah, man. It's called The Stepdaughters, and it's just crazy.
Stepdaughters.
Yeah, it's this crazy girl. She just goes into terror, and she just starts killing people in the town. And,
okay.
Yeah, you gotta check it out.
Is it so? Like, what's the plans for? Is it a festival movie, or do you think it's gonna go?
They're gonna do the festival runs. Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, the producer / director of it, he has a project called The Millennials.
The Millennials
on Amazon. It's like a mini series. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is his second project. So yeah, man, I was happy to be a part of it. And
you're working and you're doing shit that you like, and you're
that's what it's about, though, man.
Just flexing your muscles, dude.
It's just like you was talking about, like the people like having it all together or just partially having it together. I think once you start putting those pieces together in your life, things just start coming to you, just gravitate towards you, And I think it's just because of those frequencies we're living in, you know. A lot of people, they translate it from like religion, or a book that they read, like The Secret, 48 Laws of Power, all these different things. But essentially, it's the spirit, it's the energy. It's what you're putting yourself, into every day is what you get out every day,
Yeah, and it's I've read this book many times, and I'm just rereading it now. It's called The Tao. It talks about Taoism.
Oh yeah, the little small.
Yeah.
I have that. Yeah,
that's all about. Is just basically it's just about being and like there's no. It's like there's not good or evil. There just is.
Yeah.
It's like everything is just about being present and like having a clear mind and all that stuff. And I think that when you are able to function and know what, like, to be there, and especially as an actor, I think there's obviously a balance between how much of that you can really have and also be working towards this very vain and uncontrollable industry that we are in. But having a balance of kind of both of those, like work ethics and self-health, I think when you know what you're doing and you know what you want and you know how to achieve your happiness, you don't have to like work towards it. It's just part of your life. It's just part of being.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people, they sit around and they expect things to just happen without having set themselves up in like a routine or like a mentality or having the passion for something. Yeah. Like if you have passion, it's just built into your bones. You don't need to think about like, am I going to work hard on this audition? That's just part of your routine.
Exactly.
It doesn't become a thing like I really need to work hard on this. It's just like I'm going to work the way I would always work because I care about this and and this is just my job.
It's a part of your routine. It's a part of your life, and it's something that you became comfortable in. And like within that book that you're talking about, it basically teaches us how to be kids again, you know, because like when we were kids, we were just beings, you know, like
and then the world fucks us up.
The world fucks us up, you know, and like that's within my life philosophy. I wanted to get back. It's just that self-denying, you know, a person. I wanted to get away from that. Like I don't want to deny who I am. I want to show the world who I am, what I feel, and I want to give that away because it's other people that can relate to that, and it feeds them to be independent themselves, you know. And when I started to go in that route with that mentality and, you know, within that spirit, I just started attracting people like that. And, you know, like how you and I, you know, we bonded on set. That's how that book, The Towel, that's how it came to me. I was on set working with a co-star of mine, and he was like, man, you ever check out this book? A little small book. I'm like, nah, I never checked it out. He's like, man, like the conversations we're having, it's like all in this book, man. Like, dude, you should check it out. Like, I thought you read it, you know? I'm like, oh man, like, but
it's a really good book. Yeah.
But I told him, you know, before he gave it to me, I was like, everything that's in this book is already in life, you know? If we're paying attention, we can learn such at a rapid pace, you know? But we don't pay attention.
It's so funny because even in The Town, it's like it's not about like when you start talking about it, it loses its value in a sense, and it's just about like they talk about the master a lot, and it's like the master is nothing without the student, you know. And it's like I think there was one thing. It was like, what is not that I should sit here and preach it, but I'm just trying to share
shameless plug,
share the knowledge here. But it's like, what is the rich man without being the teacher to the poor man? Like, you know what I mean? What is the poor man but being the student to the rich man? Those two things don't exist. Like rich and poor, these are all just labels that we give to things, and we all need to elevate to balance.
Like when you mentioned us being actors and how, you know, the business side of acting and all those things, I think, you know, the greatest actors live, you know, the most. And you look at Heath Ledger, you know, he was feeling the most, you know what I'm saying? For him to go that deep into the Joker, he felt the most, he cared the most to go that deep, you know? And within those type of actors, man, I always wonder if they had that, you know, master, you know, around them when they were, you know, going through the lessons, you know, because we, like you say, we need those people, you know, we can't ignore those things. Even me, you know, I find myself a lot of times being the master, being the person that friends call up and like, hey, I'm going through this, and I'm always, you know, problem solving and helping them out, and they're like, man, it's so good, you know, that you called me, like I was going through it and things like that, you know. And then sometimes I'll be like, dang, man, where am I going to get that from? You know, like sometimes you feel deflated because you're giving it. But I always, you know, like I always go to you know, prayer, or you know, just you know, even like just exercising, or just things that you don't necessarily have to like exert your voice. You know, because I think the voice is like such an ego thing. It's such a, you know, like, look at me, you know. But I think like just this,
I think it all exists. I think it all exists in here in the universe if you just listen, like you're saying. I think if you
feeds you the most. That feeds. This doesn't feed. This is more so like it's draining.
This is for everybody else.
Exactly.
It ain't for you.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I think like when you shut it off, you just take it feeds you so much.
Man.
feeds you so much,
and
bro.
it's scary. And
We
that's
always get deep, man.
Yeah, I
We
love
always
it, man.
get
I
deep.
love it. I think this is great. I think people are gonna really enjoy this. This is different. This is like this is what I've been wanting this podcast to be. Is it's
Sensei.
it's just be a bit of everything here, man. I'm so happy you were able to come here. Let's talk about your clothing brand, man.
Moche, man. Yeah.
So
man.
how did this happen, and what part of your life does that play into now? Like,
man.
Because I know I've seen some of your designs and they're freaking awesome. Like I love this. I love the sweatshirt you got. It's you.
Yeah.
This is like the stuff you like, I imagine.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I think it's like it's so important for us as artists to be able to create whatever we feel.
Yeah.
And when I got into acting 8 years ago, I was just so focused on acting, and I didn't have time to do anything else. I'm like, I'm prove everybody wrong. They're wrong. Like I can do this. I want to do this. It's a passion of mine. I'm going to go for it. So I was just so engulfed in that energy, that once I finally started booking work and like, oh, I can really do this. This can really be done. I just was like, what else do you want to do, man? Like besides acting. And I just went back to my childhood, and I'm like, I always wanted to have a clothing line. Yeah. Growing up, my mother, she was a interior decorator, cosmetologist, owned her own hair salon, and she used to make Halloween costumes, prom dresses, all that. So I grew up around it.
You got it in your DNA, man.
Yeah, man, I grew up around it. She was always having a home improvement type of like project every other month, designing, redesigning, doing different things. So I was always helping her, putting the marble in the basement floors and installing like the stucco on the ceiling, and just different things like that. I learned that, but I hated it. I was like, I don't want to do this. I hated it because I was like, I don't want to do this. I could be outside playing basketball.
Okay.
So that's my father's side. More so like the macho, you can't do this. So I'm like, I'm going to show you I can do it. So that's where my mentality of like sports came from.
Sure.
And growing up in Baltimore, like you have to be tough, to be a male, or else they're going to be like, oh, he likes to draw. Oh, he's soft, stuff like that. So I used to draw these guys right here, man. Like I used to draw like Dragon Ball Z characters.
So just to plug this real quick, I think I didn't do this last time, but I figured now I'm gonna put 2 random Funko Pops here every time, and I just so happened to put these here today for the first time.
That's crazy,
Huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but
me too,
there
man.
we go.
Yeah, so I used to draw Vegeta and Goku, and like their their first form, and then like Super Saiyan, and I would draw them and just different things like that, man. And then when I grew out of that, just still playing basketball, got into acting, doing acting, and then I want to say 6 years ago, I sat down, started picking up the pencil and doodling again. I'm like looking at this like, this is horrible. What happened? I used to be able to draw.
Oh, like your drawings.
Yeah, my drawings was horrible because I haven't did it for like 15 years, So I just, do it every day, drawing shoes and different things like that, getting better. And then I just, start looking on YouTube, and I'm like, yo, like these guys are creating clothing lines. I can definitely do this. You know?
Yeah.
So I used to go to FIT, and I'd sit out there and I would ask girls, hey, what books are y'all reading? So I would just get information that way and go on YouTube and listen to anybody who's doing it at a high level. Yeah. Listen to what they have to say. So I would, basically have my own home school.
Yeah, right?
I'm
Isn't
reading
that crazy
the books.
how you can educate yourself on anything at like a high level by just like talking to people and going on YouTube?
Yeah, man. So like within that, I found a new understanding of actual making clothes. Like it's a craft and it's an art form. And within that, I just started taking it serious and building a collection, building a purpose behind the brand, a story. And Moche is a French word. My last name, Dashel, it's a French word. So I always wanted to create something that was close to like my origins of life. So that's why I chose.
And what does Moche mean?
Word. So Moche is actually in French, it's pronounced moche. And it means ugly, beastly. It's hideous, So my whole thing is like I grew up in an environment where it was ugly, Baltimore is ugly. It's bad. It's vacant. It's, fiends. It's a lot of, horrible things happening there. But within that, you see beautiful things, It's like the rose still can rise from the concrete.
Yeah.
And I think that's my story, and it's a lot of other people's story within America is being able to, like, start from nothing and have everything you want, So I wanted to choose that word because it was the core of like me. Like
Yeah.
I am the yin and the yang. Like what you see is not what you get. Like because I can be anything I want to be.
Yep.
You know, and so Moche is the beauty in the beast.
Ah,
So yeah, like on the sleeves you see the
beauty beast.
beauty
I love that.
beast,
Show
yeah.
Just show people this stuff here.
yeah. So like you see the beauty.
So how
beast.
can like I'll put your website and stuff in the
Yeah,
Instagram and
yeah.
the tag and stuff. But is that like moche.com or what is it?
Yeah, man. It's MOC hyphen MO hyphen CHE
Okay.
.co.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it all in the
Yeah.
articles and stuff. But
Yeah,
I love
man.
this. I love this, man. Like,
Yeah,
so
man.
what? Like, what's the well? There's gonna be a two-parter. We'll talk more. So like, how do you design? Like, what is what is the process of you figuring out? Like, I have zero context of fashion in that way.
So basically, man,
I just wear video game clothes. I'm wearing a Chrono Trigger shirt right now. I just go on Redbubble.
vintage.
Yeah, dude.
So where I start, man, is like the story. Like, what am I trying to say to my audience? Like, with this piece, man, I wanted to like actually represent love. Like how can I like talk about love in a unique way on a hoodie, you know? And you know, I just thought about different ways, and it came to me. I was like, yo, like the dove is a symbolic thing of love.
Sure.
You know, like at weddings they throw them in the air, you know. So
Or magicians pull them out of their pants.
Very true. Yeah. Magicians, magicians incorporate them as well. So I was like, yo, like I've never seen this before, you know, like a dove. I see pigeons and people, you know, they do like the pigeon thing.
Sure.
But I've never seen like a dove. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna start with the dove. But what are you trying to say? Yeah. And like within my whole brand, I'm always trying to say something that wakes up people conscious, you know?
Yeah.
So within that dove that's on the shirt,
what does that say there?
It's a message right here.
You must first love if you wish to fly. That's some deep shit, and it is so damn true.
Yeah, man, you know, and I don't think it's enough people flying out here. It's a misconception of love. A lot of people lust and they don't understand love. And I just think having these conversations are cool to start within a clothing line, you know, and like my clothing line is all about having.
You don't
these
see many clothing lines that are like that. Even like these people who are saying that they're trying to do something with clothing, like it's a lot of. It's still like
it's a lot of BS out here.
BS,
it's
and
a lot of
like
BS out
trying
here.
to make money. It's like
and that's what it's all about. It's like, yo, like I can stamp this on a shirt, you know, that I paid $2 for, and I can mark it up, you know, 200%.
Yeah.
And I can do that because I know A$AP Rocky, because I know Tyler the Creator, because I know Jaden Smith, and I'm gonna get to their fan base. And I only have 500 made. I'm gonna sell out easily because they got they got 5 million followers, you know. So 500, I'll sell that. You know, so they put that price on there because they know that they can get it. And that's my whole thing, is being able to create a clothing line within the respects of the art. You know, because some things do cost, you know, a lot more because the craftsmanship of it, you know.
It is not, dude. I think that's what people forget, is like, especially when you're not mass producing things.
Exactly.
It takes time and money to make this shit.
And that's me. You know, I'm a one-man army right now, you know. I'm everything,
wow,
you know.
You're doing it all, bro.
I don't graphic design, but I have a big hand in it because I start with the sketches.
Yeah.
And then within my graphic designer that I work real close with, I tell him like, no, you got to make this teeth like this. You got to, you know. So
you're like me, dude. I got to be all on top of the shit I do, dude.
So I'm still doing that. And then I'm like, oh, man, I got to study for this audition I got tomorrow. You know, so I'm just juggling all of them, man. But like, you're right, man. Like, people don't understand, you know, those things matter in the price points.
Hell yeah, dude.
But like you said, man, it's a lot of people that's just sticking prices on there because they know they can get it. And the t-shirt or the hoodie or whatever is gilding.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so true, dude. I mean, I wish there was more. I always find this is another conversation I'm sure we could have entirely, but I always find it like the reason why people in general, like why someone wants an iPhone versus like a no-name brand. It's why someone wants to wear Nikes versus whatever. Yeah. Everyone's looking for a brand to associate themselves with, because it gives people like, it's like sports.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Yankees. That gives me a community.
Yep.
I like this. It gives me kind of like, it gives you kind of purpose and associations towards people.
I want to talk about that, man, because
you know what I'm saying?
my collection, man. So right now I'm doing individual pieces, and it's themed based off of acting because I'm an actor. So right now I'm doing like previews 18, previews 19, and then previews 20. So that's three previews I'm giving you, and within those previews I'm giving you hints of like what the actual collections are going to be detailed. And the collections is going to be Dynasty 1, 2, and 3. And each dynasty, I'm going to when I present the clothes, I'm writing a script with each dynasty.
Shit, dude.
So
I love that.
I'm telling the story, and the story is talking about people being separate. You got the clan, so you have this wall put up, and it's called the Glass Castle. And within that wall, that's where the hierarchy people live, and everybody that was taken out of the old world, lives there now. But there's levels, just like back in the day when they had kingdoms. The people at the bottom lived with the
caste
chickens,
system.
Exactly. So exactly. So like that's what's happening in a futuristic tale, though. So they went back to that tradition in the glass castle, but everything looks modern, like the castle is glass, and these people, they have the latest technology and things like that, but you still see levels of hierarchy within the castle.
Sure.
And this girl, she wants to get out because she's just like, I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm tired of being placed because of a color. I'm tired of these rules. I want to get out. So she runs away. Doesn't know where the hell she's going. She's just running away. So I want to open up on her just running towards the camera, and we just see her from a distance.
Yeah.
But we hear her breath getting closer and closer and closer. We don't even know it's a girl at first. We just hear the breath. And then when she gets close, we see her. She busts open a door, in the old town. She gets in there, goes in there, and she's running. And then she goes and she's looking in the mirrors, half broken. She's looking, and then she's like, she sees this chip like in her neck, and then she like breaks the mirror, and she grabs a piece of the glass and she cuts the chip out. And like as soon as she does that, she hears the door bust open, and there's these guys, that's looking for her. That's a part of the king's army. So she's running, and then when she gets out of the back way, they're chasing her, and then they got her cornered, and then these guys come out of nowhere and save her. And then she's like, wow. She's like, who are you guys? Like, and they're like, we're a part of the Renaissance. And she's like, you guys aren't real. Like, we've been told you guys are a myth. No one lives out here, So now she's putting the two, together in terms of like, oh, it's life outside of this castle.
Sure.
And you guys are living like this, and this is messed up. And so you see the dynamics of like people that's inside of a community that's opening to them and like telling them, do this, do that. And then you see the dynamics of a community that's deprived but more freer, And it's a cool tale that I'm telling that I hope to make into an actual movie, but I want to start.
So how do you think that's gonna? How does that translate into the clothes? How many pieces of clothing do you think you're gonna need to communicate this story?
Yeah. So I don't have a number right now, but like I basically what I do is whatever I feel like this character will wear, I make it, or also I'll go into like whatever I feel like the actual collection needs, like a jacket, like a turtleneck, different things like that complement different pieces I already made. Yeah. But it's very I wouldn't say basic, because it's basic. I start with a basic silhouette. Yeah. Like my things are always silhouette drawing. Like if you look at the sleeves on this thing, it's like longer than your average hoodie, right?
Yes.
But it's not too long. It's like a perfect like type of measurement I did, and it's all about silhouette for me. Shoulder blades a little longer, just different things like that. So I'll start with a basic hoodie or a basic sweater or a basic jacket, and then from there I'll change the silhouette. I'll change the measurements on the shoulder blades and things like that. So with this collection, that's the foundation. But now I want to get a little tech. I want to put like straps here, I want to put like little book bag clamps, I want to put them like here, just different type of things that make it look more futuristic. Sure. But still stand with a basic color set. So I'm doing the first collection, black, white, red, and blue. So just showing like, the black and the white, you know, the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And the red and the blue has always been rivals.
Sure.
You know, so I'm
the
trying to,
Capulets and the Montagues.
exactly. So I'm staying true to that whole storytelling of like the actual dynasty.
Yeah.
And also what Moche is saying, you know, the beauty and the beast. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always that yin and the yang.
Is this, I've been meaning to ask, is this supposed to be like a cinematic
Yeah,
frame here?
yeah, it's the aim. That's what we aiming for, love.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah, this is the target.
Dude, have you ever heard of Coed and Cambria by any chance? It's a band. I'm a big fan of them. This is totally kind of irrelevant, but relevant
I mean,
at the same
like,
time.
you know,
I love
around
artists
this time,
who
a lot of the
take
good ones
a
about to come
format
out.
of
Like
art
Green Book.
that is so typically
Mahershala.
known to be
Yeah,
like,
that looks good.
like music.
Who's he co-starring with?
You can talk about like your
Mahershala
personal life and love and
Her
things
name's
like
on the tip
personal
of my tongue.
experience, right? Like music has often been like stories from you or people
can't
you
get his
know,
name.
and it's always pretty much like.
So I'm gonna go see Fantastic Beasts.
But it's always pretty much fiction or nonfiction.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
gonna
based
go
off of
check that out. Yeah, I'm
non-fictional
gonna
things
check
in
it
some
out.
capacity.
Yeah.
Coed and Cambria
see,
is a
the thing about
non-fiction
Harry
graphic
Potter is
novel.
this.
All of the story, all of the songs are stories, part of the
I don't
story
really
in
use
their
it,
music.
Man. I don't really go by
So it's
that,
all
man.
about like
'Cause
this
I
guy.
I try not to. Yeah, man, that's my guy.
Claudio
man.
is the.
He's
I'm like,
really
now
good, man.
I'm
But
of course
I
forgetting
try not
the
to look
whole
at the
thing. But
ratings
anyway,
or
so
previews 'cause I don't want to
it's
know what I'm getting
it's
myself
all
into.
every
Thank you so
album that they
much.
have is a part of this story that exists. In this, it's all
Because I
non.
don't want to.
It's nonfiction or it's all fiction. Sorry. And I love when people take art in a way like that, like to tell a story in like a cinematic way through clothing. I've never really seen that before.
Yeah, I heard Venom was bad. Man. Thank you. Yeah. I heard it was bad, man.
Star is Born is really good.
A Star is Born. I want to see that. I keep hearing about it. I haven't seen it
It
yet.
is a rehash, so it was a bit of a cash grab, but I heard
Yeah.
the performances are pretty phenomenal.
Mid '90s too. I heard mid '90s was good.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
Seth.
Jonah Hill
Yeah,
movie.
that's yeah.
I heard that was
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah,
that.
Jonah Hill. I said Seth. Rogen. Super bad. Super bad.
Well, cool, dude. Let's dig into this here too.
Yeah.
Allie, wanna
Let's check it
hold
out.
The noise on set. You gonna join this with us here? So this is something we do. It's called plant-based plate (PBP), and so I'm gonna talk. So last time, we had what did we make last time, Al?
Pasta and then
No, pasta was the first one, and then we made pancakes. We made these dope pancakes, and this is like a simple, vegan, gluten-free brownie, and so it's the simplest. Like anyone can make this. It's literally organic coconut flour, powdered sugar, chocolate chips, vanilla. And then instead of like eggs or anything, and there's no oil. I didn't put any oil in this because that's like one of the killer here's to vegan is like these. It's just pure saturated fat. So you use a banana instead, and you can use a little bit of flax meal to like make it a binding agent. So there's like peanut butter, banana, and the frosting is essentially the same ingredients. It's just powdered sugar. Cacao. That's like the main ingredient here. Of
course, cacao.
And so powdered sugar, cacao, a little bit of baking soda, flour, the coconut flour, and that's pretty much it. It's super simple. It takes 30 minutes to make. Yeah, let's I'm starving, dude.
I'm like, why did you
I know.
Stop talking.
Come on, let me eat it.
Let's see here.
I like the presentation.
Oh yeah. So it's like a little cakey, I feel like. But right, it's a little cakey. We tried it.
Yeah, I can definitely taste the banana.
I was about to say the first thing that hits me is the banana.
I would say
It's good. It tastes like a healthy chocolate.
yes, it tastes like a healthy chocolate brownie,
Yeah.
which is kind of the point. I do a rating thing, so you can use like points out of 10. So I'll keep the mic here. I would say I'll give my rating, but what do you give this out of 10? And so you can do like a 3-1, you can do a 7-8. Like, what do you give this out of 10? You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
So if we're being completely honest,
Yeah, please.
I hate coconut.
Oh, really? So this
And
was like a 2.
coconut in every bite. It's crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yep.
I'm like, this is coconut.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say Just for effort, I'll give you a 5.
A 5.
but taste wise, like the chocolate, the banana, and everything, it's good. But
Yeah,
I just
not for you.
just not for me, bro.
No.
Like the coconut. My mother, she used to always try to like fake me out too when I was younger.
Like
she
coconut?
she loves coconut. Like she loves like the coconut shavings on her cake and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
And there's chocolate chips in here.
I see. I haven't had one of those yet. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I like double and double.
Yeah.
Chocolate, triple. I love chocolate.
Oh yeah.
So my mother, she would get these chocolate cakes, knowing that I like chocolate,
yeah.
and I would eat one, and I'm like, this has coconut in it. She's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I'm like, yes, it does. I can taste it. And to the average person, like, they can't taste it. But me, I was so like, I don't like the taste.
You got coconut dar.
My mother, she looked on the back and the ingredients, sure enough, it said coconut.
Yeah.
I'm like, I told you.
I sniffed that shit out.
Yeah, man, that's how bad I was. Like, I used to, like, regurgitate it. You know, now my tolerance is a little better. But it's still like, I just don't like coconut.
I'm surprised you didn't sit here and have a bite and go.
The crazy thing about it is coconut is so good for us, man. Like the coconut water, I can't even drink that.
Really?
Yeah, man. I can do it in my smoothies at times, but some days are better than others.
What do you have? Almond milk then? You don't have coconut milk?
I don't do almond milk. I do I do like a lot of water-based spinach, green, acai type of drinks, things like that. I try to do a lot of spinach.
Yeah,
you know?
I use a ton of spinach in my smoothies.
Yeah, a lot of spinach.
But I do
a lot of acai.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but not much coconut. I pour a little bit in there from time to time.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Well, flax milk is pretty good for you.
Flax milk?
And pea milk, you know.
Mm-hmm. My girlfriend, she gets a lot of
more
the
pea protein milk.
Flax seeds.
Yeah.
She gets a lot of that. We'll throw it in the smoothie sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but
chia seeds good for flax is good for your omegas.
Chia seeds, yeah. I used to drink kombuchas.
Kombucha,
They used to have the chia seeds at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I heard kombuchas aren't really that good for you, man.
Yeah, what was the logic behind that?
So basically, just because it's processed.
Oh, anything processed is gonna be yeah.
And it's like just sitting, and it's a livestock. So that food that's live, it's depreciating. You know, and you don't know where it's coming from, how long it was shipped, and different things like that. Yeah. Which is a cool argument.
Well, I wonder if there's a difference between the health benefits from a kombucha that's not processed versus is processed.
Yeah, and I try to whenever
that's,
I do.
Well, oil. I mean, that's the reason why oil is so terrible for you. It's it's just the highest caloric food you can have processed.
Yeah, man. I always try to get things that's made in house, like. Brooklyn Modern Love. That's a plug.
Yeah, dude. Brooklyn Modern Love.
Go
we gotta
check
go.
it out.
Yeah, I'll have to go there with you one day and get this cheesesteak.
But they make all of their seitan in house.
In house, yep.
You know, and I try to go to places that make their stuff in house, and if it's like a place that's like, oh yeah, we do vegan options, I try not to eat there because it's like they're still cutting my food with like the milk and the cheese based knife, you know. So. And
that's the thing too, is you go out to eat places and people, especially, I mean. If you're not vegan, you're going to probably run into this more often than not. It's like you go out and you think you're getting healthy, like pasta or something, let's say, and they're just dousing that shit in oil. You don't really know, like, what you're getting into.
Yeah,
like,
man. Absolutely. And you can tell once it comes in front of you, you know, once they plate it, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? This is not vegan.
Yeah, and a ton of places. I mean, that's like you were saying with being vegan is like people think home style cooking vegan is like the way to be vegan, and you can't eat a Philly cheesesteak every day. You can't have a Beyond Burger or Impossible Burger every day, or you're gonna get obese and
see
clog your arteries.
that's my cheats. You know, like it used to be like here and there when I was organic, I'll be like. Oh, I'll have like a turkey burger.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll cheat, you know, once, you know, this month, things like that. My cheats now are like healthy, like bad vegan food.
Exactly.
You know, like,
which is still better for you than like so.
Yeah. Like going to Modern Love, that's cheat.
Yeah.
You know, buy Chloe, that's cheat.
That's like that's same for us. Yeah, it's like, you know, once a week or every other week we try to go somewhere, go out, and that's like. that's cheating. Otherwise, we try to stay true to the the smoothies, having salads, rice and beans. Sometimes we're trying to not be as grain heavy because that's just high calories, good for you in moderation. But
do you do quinoa?
Yeah, quinoa.
Quinoa is a great protein source.
For sure.
Yeah,
we do a lot of quinoa, a lot of farro rice.
We'll
do like a ton of kidney beans and stuff, but a lot of vegetables: broccoli, spinach, peas. Anything that's green for you at the end of the day is going to be good for you.
Yeah,
and that's absolutely. Like I try to have as much green in my diet as I can.
I wake up to a green juice, man.
Yeah, that's like what. Yeah,
man. Start out with the water. Make sure everything's running smoothly, and then I'll start filling my body up with green juices. I'll work out. Then from there, I'll eat something light for lunch, but nothing really heavy. Yeah, I really eat one big meal a day. You know? Yeah.
Like, well, I've been intermittent fasting, so I pretty much only eat between. I know I'm strict on it, but today obviously I'm not since we're pushed back on this. But I only pretty much eat between 1 and 9. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that's been like on top of having a vegan diet, like just making me feel amazing.
Mm-hmm. Why is that though?
I think as the body, our bodies were not made to eat 6 times a day. You think that when we were first existing on this earth that we had the luxury of eating 6 meals a day? No way. We did not. So having that fast, that it starts using your own body, the fat in your body, burning that for energy, which is how our bodies are meant to function.
I have this conversation a lot, man. It's cool that you know that. Like a lot of people don't understand that like your body needs to burn that fat. And like it's stored there for a reason. Like that's extra like calories, extra energy, different things that's just sitting there. It's because you're not giving your body a chance to reprogram itself. And like with the cat, he's just creeping me out. He's over there playing. Dude. No, you're good. You're good. I was just like, what?
Sasuke's walking on the cat wheel right now. What is going on? Yeah, it's his exercise wheel, dude. He's got to get his game on right now.
But yeah, burn those calories. But yeah, man, like a lot of people, they don't understand that like that stored fat is like not moving because you're not giving it a chance to. And also, we should give our stomachs a break too.
That's a huge part of it. Yeah.
Always working, you know, and a lot of the sicknesses and things that happen to people starts in the stomach.
Hell yeah, dude.
Starts in the stomach.
Yeah, and for intermittent fasting, I just found it's like it promotes that idea that food is fuel. You stop having this emotional attachment to like food. I mean, we do this once a week, having like, you know, a bite of something that we make because I think this is obviously it was more for the idea of Thanksgiving, like having a dessert in some sense, but like we want to make like these healthy meals that people can have and introduce them to, like, that's what it is for me, that you can go vegan and still have the food you love and you can still have like plentiful taste and it doesn't have to have meat or dairy in it. Yeah. So you can make like an amazing beet salad or like a you can make a quesadilla that has all these wonderful vegetables in it, and you can use like a cashew cheese. Yeah. And it tastes delicious, and it doesn't have to, you know,
which I might argue that vegan food is starting to become better than regular food to me.
Hell like, yeah. In terms of regular food. What do you mean by that? Isn't that crazy though? But that's how we're conditioned. That's the point I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. I did do that. I did regular food. But yeah, man, like versus your cheeseburgers and things like that. Like I don't miss them.
I never. So I used to eat steak all the time. Never once did I feel good after eating a steak. Yeah. I always was like, oh.
Thanksgiving, I used to feel like crap after. I'd be like, oh, I'm ready to go to sleep. Oh man, my stomach's bloated. You know. Now I'm like, all right, you guys ready to play games?
Yeah. Seriously, dude. Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Well, I give this a you gave it a 5. Yeah. I give it like a 5.7. And that's someone who likes coconut.
Oh wow.
I just think I'm
like scraping the coconut out of the back of my teeth right now.
Yeah, dude, you get I don't know, for me this was like it was good. Like it's definitely not as bad as for like an egg and dairy and chocolate. Because there's technically not even like chocolate, it's cacao in here. So it's going to be definitely way better for you, healthier. And I don't know. I if I'm gonna have a dessert, I wouldn't pick this.
Right.
You know, I'd pick something else.
Have you had by Chloe's cinnamon rolls? Oh my goodness, man. Those things are amazing. Yo, they're trouble, man.
Dude,
they're trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, man, are you serious? This is vegan. She's like, yes, they're vegan. I'm like, well, can I get 3 more?
Yeah. I'm like, well, dude, I'm so happy you got to come here. I'm so like, this
man.
is, and at the very least for me, this is like an excuse to catch up with people who I actually fucking love as human beings.
Yeah,
and,
man. Like you too, man.
Seriously, bro, I'm not joking. Like I know, like when I met you on set and everything, you were just so freaking down to earth, and I knew you were just gonna keep killing it and being successful. And it's only a matter of time before it's a recur, a main character for you. It is. Not that you've already done that. Like one thing I always hate when people in my family go, just keep at it, you're gonna make it. It's like, I'm fucking living the dream right now, dude. I don't work a 9 to 5. I'm living the dream.
Exactly, man.
But like, for you, I mean, I think it's
2 years.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a blessing.
That's a dream. That is the dream, dude. To do what you love and not have to like.
Yeah, man. But like, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I get you.
I think for you though, it's like my boy Jake. You're gonna get to that where you've got the drive and the talent, and I think it's just gotta keep fucking being in the game and doing it for.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
dude.
Man.
But yeah, fucking Moche is how you pronounce it?
Yes, Moche.
Moche.
Yeah,
mo-che.co. You can check out Donald's. You like when people call you Dash or Donald more?
It don't matter.
I know people call you Dash, right?
Yeah, people call me Dash. I mean, my name is Donald Dash, so I mean, you can first or last, it don't matter.
I'm gonna call you Donald. You can check out his clothing website and check him out if you haven't seen Rise, you gotta see.
Yeah, go check out Rise, man.
Was it available like online yet? In that
so it was on Hulu. I think the new lineup just changed in November, so it's not on Hulu anymore.
Okay, but is it probably on the NBC?
It's not on NBC anymore either.
On .com though.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I know it's on
Torrent it.
Google Play.
Google Play.
Apple.
Get that shit for free.
Or you can do it. Yeah, you can do it that route.
Google Play, iTunes, and all that
I
stuff.
didn't tell you to do it that route, but
no, I didn't either. This has been episode 4 with Donald Dash, guys. Check him out and his clothing line. Next week, Guy Guido. Stoked on Plants, guys. StokedOnPlants.com is where you'll find all the stuff. Sign up for the newsletter, and that's where I'm going to be putting all the information for how you can watch the next episodes on YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, all that good shit. All right, guys. Let the intro, outro music play out. By John Yves Andre, we've got a new outro and intro song. My boy, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you, bro. Seriously.
Thanks, man.
Yeah
man.
seriously.